Many years ago, somewhere in the heart of East Africa, there lived a king called King Asa of the great Amah Kingdom. King Asa took over reign from his late father King Zula, and immediately he turned all the men in Amah Kingdom into warriors. He said, "We don't need to work to keep our lands and grow and expand. We are going to get slaves from other smaller kingdoms to do the work for us and help us build our kingdom to become the most dominant kingdom in this whole of Africa." With that mindset, the great Amah Kingdom that was once known for their peace and loving people became a terror in the lives of all other kingdoms around them. At first, the elders and leaders of Amah Kingdom stood against the young crowned King Asa, but as he started fighting wars, conquering smaller kingdoms, and turning the captured captives into slaves to do all the work in Amah Kingdom, all the people of Amah celebrated the young King Asa, and all of them sang his praises. Soon, the Amah Kingdom grew and became very great, rich in cattle and livestock. Their walls stood tall that no man can break through it, and the people of Amah Kingdom grew to the level that no Amah citizen would do any work at all, because they had slaves to do everything for them, that they sit around doing nothing. All they do is train more warriors, drinking and celebrating every day. All the work that was done in Amah Kingdom was done by the slaves that were captured from all the smaller villages that were destroyed by the young King Asa of Amah Kingdom. As King Asa grew and conquered territories, taking lands and everything valuable as they moved, they came closer to the land of Ahab Kingdom. The king of Ahab Kingdom, King Onima, was a peaceful man. He and the former king of Amah Kingdom, the father of the young crowned King Asa, were good friends. King Asa knows his father's relationship with the king of Ahab Kingdom, but he claimed his father was a weak man. For him, King Asa, to maintain a good relationship with the people of Ahab, and for him not to conquer them, he sent a letter to the king of Ahab Kingdom, that the people of Ahab Kingdom must submit to his rulership, and that the king of Ahab Kingdom, King Onima, must send 1,000 young men and 2,000 of the most beautiful young women in Ahab Kingdom to him as slaves, to avoid them being destroyed, and also to maintain their relationship. King Onima has two children, Prince Nazim and his daughter Princess Noia. Their mother died many years ago and the king refused to remarry. Seeing the situation on ground, King Onima had a meeting with his elders and they decided to send Prince Nazim, the crown prince of Ahab Kingdom, and some other elders to go and plead with King Asa of Amah Kingdom and renegotiate his offers. But on getting there, King Asa was full of pride, insulting everyone, calling them worms and nothing but cockroaches. Prince Nazim lost his peace and told him to his face that he, King Asa, is not God, that only God can be so bold to speak in the manner he, King Asa, is speaking. King Asa got angry and killed Prince Nazim and all the men that came with him. He sent a slave named Mocho to carry the message to King Onima that his son insulted him and he killed him and all his men, that he, King Asa, must not be messed with. He means business. It's either they obey him or he will wipe out their land completely. That evening, as the slave brought the message, it was a sad day in Ahab Kingdom. Their only crowned prince, Prince Nazim, has been killed like a goat. King Onima cried for his son all through the night. His only son, that will reign in his place, was killed like a worthless animal, without any dignity. The whole village were sad and also frightened by the news because they did not know what to expect. 2 days after the death of Prince Nazim, King Onima gathered all the strong men he could find and attacked Amah Kingdom. It was a fight that shook the people of Amah. They did not expect such an attack from a small kingdom like Ahab. Most of their men were killed and defeated in battle, but at the end, King Onima was killed. Some of his men who survived returned to Ahab Kingdom with his dead body and they buried him. After the burial of King Onima, Ahab Kingdom was left without a king. Princess Noia has to crown a new king who will become her husband, and the next king will have to lead the people of Ahab to battle. It was just a matter of time before King Ahab attacks the kingdom of Ahab and destroys them completely, so a king is needed to lead the people as urgent as possible, to decide on their next line of action. But due to the dangers on ground, most of the young men in the Ahab kingdom did not want to bear the responsibility of becoming the next king. They have never been to a battle or understand what wars were all about, so they all kept away. Finally, the day came to crown the next king, and the villagers gathered to see who their next king would be. All the strong men who were willing to become king and rule the kingdom gathered and stood in line at the village square. As the ceremony was going on, a madman named Huna came and joined the line, and the villagers all started laughing. Huna's father was one of the greatest warriors that ever lived in the entire kingdom of the Eastern Africa. There was a story that Huna's father once killed 2,000 men in one day, as he fought in so many wars, long before peace reigned in all the kingdoms. That was before he came with Huna as a child, and settled in Ahab village, but he died of illness, and after his death, Huna became mad, due to what he passed through without his father who he loved so much, and he has been mad ever since, wandering the village for over 7 years. As a child, Huna and Noia were very close. They liked each other very much. Huna once told Noia he will marry her one day, and make her the happiest princess in the whole world. That was before his father died. The only family member he has was gone, and the death of his father made him run mad. Noia has loved Huna as a child, and the love she has for him was strong that she never went close to another man since she grew up, still thinking that one day, Huna would get well and come for her hand in marriage, but that never happened. She has secretly been sending food to Huna through the palace maids that were assigned to her. Seeing Huna on the line, she was moved with passion. Her heart melted, and she remembered how kind and gentle Huna was, a perfect gentleman even as a child. As she took the crown and went around, she saw no man was worthy to bear the responsibility of Ahab kingdom. Most of the men who came out were either too proud, and the others will rule the kingdom with iron hand, much worse than King Ahab himself. So after much checking, she placed the crown on Huna's head. The whole village shouted in confusion. So we are going to be ruled by a madman. Noise filled everywhere. One of the eldest men in Ahab kingdom, a very soft-spoken man, named Jumo, a well-respected man for his wisdom, and most of the people in Ahab kingdom listens to him, stood up and calmed the people down. As they became quiet, he said, "My people, the great kingdom of Ahab, our princess Noia has made her choice of whom will become her husband, and the next king of this kingdom, and I, Jumo, will stand by her. She is a wise woman, and the crown princess of this kingdom. I don't think she has made a mistake, so if you will stand by her, and allow her and her new husband, Huna, to rule this kingdom and take us to victory in this battle with King Ahab of Amah Kingdom, raise your hand in support of your king and the new queen." The village went quiet. All the warriors who came back from the battle, who fought alongside King Onima, came forward and said, "Our king's dying wish is for us to stand by Princess Noia. With whatever decision she makes, we are willing to lay down our lives for our people, just like our king did for us." Macho, the slave that was sent to bring the message of the death of Prince Nazim, who received pardon by King Onima and has become part of the villagers, came forward and said, "I will stand by him and fight King Ahab for all he did to my people and my families. I am willing to lay down my life for that." Gradually, few people came forward, But it was a cold day in the kingdom of Iora, and a very disappointing day as well. The villagers went home in confusion, and scared that they might be totally wiped out by King Asa of Amah Kingdom. Later that night, after Huna had been bathed by the maids, they kept him in a room in the palace, with some of his belongings, including his father's sword, which, even in his mad state, nobody is allowed to touch except him. He laid down on the floor sleeping. At the middle of the night, Princess Noia came into his room and woke him up. She sat next to him and started crying, telling him, "Huna, you are all I have left. I have lost my mother, my only brother, and now my father. You know how it feels to lose everyone you love, and I see what it has done to you. I'd rather die in your arms than to marry someone I do not love. I have loved you as a child, and I still love you even now. Life is already meaningless for me. I am but a shadow of myself. The only person I have left is you, and that is all that is keeping me right now. You and I are no different at the moment. The people said I am mad for choosing to marry a madman, but that is what happens when you lose everything. You become mad, so even if we die, I will gladly die by your side." She cried for a while, next to Huna, who dozed off while she was talking. She left him there and went to her room. Very early the next day, alarm was sounded by the guards who were watching the kingdom. King Asa's men have attacked. The warriors that came back from the war alongside King Onima ran toward the battle to try and stop them, before the army will enter the kingdom. As they got close, they saw the armies of King Asa coming toward them looking like sand. They were so many that they could not be counted. The warriors turned and started running back. As they were running, they saw Huna with his father's sword raised above his head, charging into battle, heading straight toward King Asa's army that came out to attack them. So they waited to see what will happen. As Huna got close to King Asa's men, he raised his sword, and a bright light came out like thunder from his eyes and his sword. With one strike, he killed over 3,000 men. Bodies were flying all over. The army quickly retreated and started running backward, and Huna chased after them. The warriors saw what is happening. They said, "He has his father's strength and spirit," so they turned and joined him in the battle, and chased King Asa's men far away. They killed most of them, only few escaped. That day, Huna killed over 100,000 warriors. As they got back into the village, the villagers started shouting and praising Huna for his bravery. Everybody was happy, shouting and singing his name. Baba Jumo and the other elders they are all celebrating. Baba Jumo raised his hand for the noise to come down. As the noise reduced, he asked, "How many of you would like us to crown Huna and Princess Noia, King and Queen of Iora Kingdom?" The whole village shouted yes, we agree. The noise increased as the celebration continued. So, a day was fixed for the ordination of Princess Noia and Huna as the new King and Queen of Iora Kingdom. While in Amah Kingdom, there was sadness and weeping everywhere. The kingdom has not only lost slaves, but fathers and sons who joined the warriors have been killed. Before long, they started blaming King Asa for his bad decisions. The kingdom was filled with murmuring and whispering. King Asa sat in his palace confused. The few men that came back told him that the legendary warrior, Hozuka, fought for the Iora Kingdom. That is how they were defeated, and they narrated their story of what happened. King Asa said, "But that is only a myth. Even if it was true, he should be old and dead by now, but we will not back down, or else other smaller kingdoms will not fear us anymore. We have to rise above this. A small kingdom like Iora will not defeat us. I will find a way to break them to pieces." The coronation day came, and people of Iora Kingdom came out in mass to witness the crowning of Huna and Princess Noia, King and Queen of Iora Kingdom. All the villagers were happy. Nobody remembered that Huna was mad, until he came out from the palace and sat on the throne, well dressed but still looking mad and laughing confusedly. The people went quiet for a while, seeing Huna's condition. Then the whisper started, "So we are actually going to be ruled by a madman." Before you know it, murmuring started. People were beginning to wonder if they are actually making the right decision. Some said, "If the war is over, how can a madman lead us moving forward? How can he address us, the people of Amah Kingdom? What will other kingdoms say? That the people of Amah have lost all their senses to crown a madman king?" The noise began and the murmuring increased. Baba Jumo, who is to crown Huna, and Princess Noia stood up and beckoned on the people to come down. As the noise subsided, he spoke in his soft little voice and said, "My people, the people of this great Amah Kingdom, please listen to me. I want to ask you all a question. Did King Onima serve us well?" The villagers shouted yes. He was a great king who loved his people till death. Then he said, "Today, we are crowning his daughter's wish. If we trusted the king in his time, let us also trust Princess Noia, that through her wisdom, as the queen of this kingdom, with the help of her husband, the king, she, through her father's wisdom that transferred to her, will lead us well. She has already proven to be a wise woman by choosing a man that single-handedly killed over 100,000 men in one day. Do you think any other mortal on this earth would have achieved what she has achieved by that single act of choice?" The people of Amah said no. Baba Jumo continued, "So my people, let us give her a benefit of doubt as we crown her and her choice of husband today, and through the wisdom she has shown us, she will guide and rule this kingdom to greatness." The villagers cheered in happiness, chanting and celebrating and shouting the name of Huna. Then the ceremony continued, as the crown was placed on Huna's head, and he was pronounced king of Amah Kingdom. He stood up immediately and looked around, and he said to Baba Moju, "Please, let me be the one that will crown my wife Noia." The whole villagers became quiet. For the first time in 7 years, Huna has made a statement that made sense. Baba Jumo said, "It is okay, my king." He handed the crown over to King Huna. Huna took the crown and lifted it up and said, "I heard you the night you came and cried in my room. It was like I was in a far place, but your voice spoke to me and led me back toward light. And for your love toward me, for trusting in me, for being a light that has today led me back to life, I hereby crown you, my wife Noia, the queen of Amah Kingdom." The villagers started shouting in happiness. Noia was shocked. She stood up and looked Huna in the eyes, and for the first time in 7 years, she saw the bright light, the warm feeling of a man with passion for life. She said, "Huna, are you okay?" Huna responded, "Yes, my love and my queen, I am fine now, thanks to you." They hugged. Then Huna turned to the villagers and said, "My people, the great people of Amah Kingdom, let us rise together as one and lead this great kingdom to riches and prosperity." The whole villagers start shouting, "Long live Huna! Long live Huna!" From that day, Huna's mind was restored. He became well and completely sane, and his love for his wife, Queen Noia, grew each day. 2 weeks later, after all the celebration and drinking was over, King Huna and the elders held a meeting, planning what to do with King Ahab, who has not only betrayed them by killing their prince but also killing their king. But as they planned, the challenge was there is no way to penetrate the palace due to its high walls. As they wondered what to do, Macho came in and told them, "I can help. I know Amah Kingdom inside out." He said, "I am a man from Muria clan in Huna Kingdom. My clan are warriors, but unprepared and without warning, King Asa attacked our kingdom and killed everybody. My wife and kids were all killed, and I was carried away to serve as slave in Amah Kingdom. I have served there for over 5 years, waiting for an opportunity like this, to return the evil that was done to my people, so I can help you get into Amah wars. I know the secret way in. Finally the day came, and King Asa came out with his last troop of men for battle, and as usual, had more warriors, far more than King Huna. It was like 1 man to 5 men if the battle starts. As they both stood their ground, King Huna said, "We don't need to fight and kill all these innocent slaves who have nothing to do with this battle." He sent Mocho to go and give King Asa a message and tell him to surrender and they will spare him. Mocho went forward as both groups waited. As Mocho got close, he had his long spear on his hand, and gave the message to King Asa, who laughed and said, "I know you, were you not the slave I sent to deliver my message? So they spared you? I would have killed you the minute you stepped foot into my kingdom with such message, so now you are now fighting for them against me, all-powerful King Asa. Well, I will crush you and your new king the way I crushed your people and your kingdom, you worthless animals. Tell your king, I don't care who he is, whether the great warrior or whatever he calls himself, he will fall here today." Worthless cockroaches. As Mocho turned to leave, his heart melted from the words of King Asa. The faces of his dying wife and 2 sons came into his view, tears dropped from his eye. He turned back to King Asa, who was there boasting and calling him names, and he threw his spear toward King Asa. Being a warrior that he is, the spear went straight into King Asa's heart and killed him. Immediately Amah warriors attacked him and killed Mocho. He smiled as he fell to his death. King Huna saw what just happened and led his men into battle. As he ran toward Amah warriors, he raised his sword again, and his eyes shined like thunder. Fire came out from his sword, and with one move, he killed over 3,000 men. As the battle continued, the slaves who fought alongside King Asa surrendered, and the real Amah people ran back to their kingdom thinking the tall walls will protect them. But Mocho had already told King Huna where the secret entrance to the wall is. King Huna and his warrior chased after the Amah people, entered through the secret door into the kingdom and killed everybody, burned the place to ashes, and only the slaves were spared. That was how King Asa died like a common animal and his kingdom was ruined. And King Huna lived and brought progress to the people of Ahab Kingdom. He and Queen Noia had 2 sons, and they named them Prince Onima and Prince Nazim. The kingdom of Ahab flourished in all areas, and for the first time in a long time, peace reigned all over the kingdom of the East. Story ends. Moral of this story: no man is God. Just like a man is born, one day he will surely die. Live the right kind of life, treat people the way you want to be treated, because everything that has a beginning, no matter how good and great it looks, surely has an end. I remain Uncle Sam. Stay safe.